Hi, Jackie Van Ruler here, and in today's video I want to talk about hope for pancreatic cancer. If you've received a pancreatic cancer diagnosis, you probably do not have a lot of hope because it is one of the cancers that has the least of a 5-year survival rate. However, I can tell you that some of the things I'm going to suggest to you are very, very effective for all cancers, including pancreatic cancer. And I do have a face map that I'm going to post on my Instagram channel, as well as on Buy Me a Coffee if you want to buy a printable version that you can download. If you have pancreatic cancer, please do this routine up to 4 times a day. This is going to be something that's going to bring highly healing oxygen to the cancer cells. Cancer cells thrive on like a reactive oxygen species, which is like it's like a poor metabolism of your cells. So when your cells can't metabolize right, they make this reactive oxygen species, and cancer feeds on that stuff. So cancer feeds also on sugar, and so you want to really decrease your carbohydrate intake, even abolish it completely. In fact, I would highly suggest that you follow a man by the name of Dr. Thomas Seyfried, who has done a lot of research on cancers and the metabolic component of it. And he has a very effective treatment strategy that he incorporates fasting, as well as calorie restriction, as well as ketoacidosis, so very high fat diets, to cure or at least put cancers into remission. So I would highly recommend that you follow his protocols, or at least look up some of his videos and give that a try, because I think that's going to be highly effective, particularly along with facial reflexology. When I actually worked with a pancreatic cancer client who we were doing treatments 3 times a week. When I met her, she had had cancer for over a year. It started out as breast cancer and then metastasized to both her liver and her pancreas. After working with her for about 3 months, doing treatments about 3 times a week, all of her cancer tumors had decreased in size by at least 50%. Usually more. I think her pancreatic cancer was more than 50%. One of her breast cancer tumors went away completely, and then the other ones were decreased by 50%. So this was just regular receiving of treatment. So I do highly recommend that you find a practitioner in your area as well. Get in and do some regular treatments, as well as doing some work on yourself. I think you'll be really pleased with how you feel, and also with the results that you see. Now with this particular client, as her cancer tumors began to decrease in size, her doctors increased the amount of chemotherapy that they were giving her, and they kept giving her more and more and more. And I kept telling her, I'm like, you just stop the chemo for a bit. Like, we're getting results here. I think we can, like, even if you just miss a couple of treatments. Got to the point though that she didn't want to do that. Her cancer, not that her cancer progressed, but we were just fighting the chemo. So she was just sicker and sicker and sicker from the chemo treatments. And finally I wasn't able to go see her anymore because she lived an hour and a half away. And I was like, well, for just fighting the chemo, I can't keep like investing this amount of time to come and see you. She didn't have a car and things like that. So anyway, I do highly recommend that you do this up to 4 times a day. This is going to be very effective, and it's going to be effective also for your side effects of cancer, as well as just the emotional component of it. Of course, when we get that cancer diagnosis, we hear cancer, it goes fear, it makes us produce more cortisol. Cortisol makes you produce more blood sugar feeds the cancer, and so it's just this vicious cycle. So facial reflexology just helps to decrease that cortisol, decrease your blood sugar, send really healing oxygen to your cancer cells, which are going to help to break them down instead of that reactive oxygen species that helps to feed the cancer. So starting with your kidney points, we're going to go corners of the mouth, all the way up to the hairline, and then just a little bit down below the hairline, you're going to feel an area that you might be able to fit your fingers into. Left hand side, we're going to work this pretty good. The left is really good for just calming down the nervous system, calming stress, getting you into a parasympathetic state. When we go to the right side, you just want to do maybe about 5 little circles over there to stimulate the kidneys, but you don't want to do too much because it can kind of bring up a little bit more of that sympathetic nervous system, and we want to kind of stay in that nice parasympathetic, calm space. Then we're going to work points 124, which are going to be across kind of the above the brow and between the hairline, about halfway up. You can just go right back and forth on that. Or if you feel a spot that feels a little more bumpy, about 2/3 of the way across the brow, you can just do little circles in that area. These are extremely calming points, so they help to calm down that fear response. And they also help to get your body just into a state of relaxation. When you're in a state of relaxation, you can think more clearly, you can make better decisions. When we try to make decisions from a state of fear, we oftentimes make wrong decisions, or we just follow what other people suggest for us instead of really following what we really want for ourselves. Okay, inner brow right in here. This is a paired point with the point we just did, and this just helps to calm that nervous system down. You can also take your tool and just work across the brow for another additional calming effect. Incidentally, people who get pancreatic cancer tend to be people who have a lot of earth element energy, and they tend to be people that take care of other people. And so one of the emotional components about healing pancreatic cancer is to really focus on yourself and what you want and what you enjoy. And so a lot of times people who have pancreas issues in any sort, whether it be insulin resistance, pancreatitis, or things like that, tend to be people who ignore their own needs and desires to help other people, and then they don't even know what they want. So part of the healing process for pancreatic cancer is to put yourself first, figure out what it is that really lights you up, things that make you happy, and to go for that. And then we're going to work the pancreatic zone, which is going to be this area right in the center of the forehead. This also has to do with clear thinking. This activates the brain and allows the brain to get out of a state of stress and into a state of feeling calm and being able to think more clearly. So this is one of the pancreas zones. This is a secondary pancreas zone, but really good for just clearing your head, calming your nervous system. Okay. Then we're going to come on the outer side of the eyes, and this whole area underneath of the eyes right in here. This is another really calming point. This is a point for the pericardium. It helps to calm the nervous system, increase circulation, increase good blood flow so you're getting that good, healthy oxygen to all of your cells. This will also be really good for sleep and also good for anxiety, just calming any anxiousness that you might have. So working in here, nice and slow. Supporting it with your fingers. When you're doing this, take the time to relax. Don't just do it as an obligation. Do this as a time to relax and calm yourself down. Do it first thing in the morning, right before bed, in the middle of the day. And when food cravings come up, this is a really good one also for stopping your food cravings, because the pancreas is about finding, like when you have issues with the pancreas, it's oftentimes because you use food as a way to deal with stress. So one of the ways to cure pancreatic cancer, to get over it, is to find other ways to deal with stress that don't involve food. Okay, next we're going to work the liver and the gallbladder on the right hand side of the face. So in line with the bottom of the nose, come to directly underneath the iris of the eye. You're going to get the liver point, and then just a little bit to the right of that is the gallbladder. So I like to support right around those areas. And then working slightly upward, you're probably going to feel some tension in here. It's probably going to feel a little bit hard. The gallbladder and liver are really important organs for fighting cancer. The liver is what determines energy utilization, and so it's when you are stressed, it will release more blood sugar, and that's something we don't want. So the gallbladder is really good at digesting fats. And it's really important to eat healthy fats, so stay far, far, far away from seed oils. They are going to stress your metabolism, and they are fake. They literally are engine oil. So stay far away from seed oils, but eat plenty of other healthy fats that will help to clear your whole digestive system. It's going to help to have vitamins A, D, E, and K, and D is especially important for fighting cancer. And oftentimes when we are in a metabolic state of disease, our body actually stores vitamin D in our fat tissue, so it's not available to us. So as we begin to calorie restrict, as you begin to fast or things like that, like Dr. Seyfried recommends, you will actually release vitamin D, and you're going to have some really potent cancer-fighting vitamins in your body. Okay, on the left-hand side, we're going to go in line with the bottom of the nose, directly across the smile line. We get the stomach point. Right in here, the stomach is really important for breaking down proteins, for rebuilding tissue in your body, especially if you have been going through chemo. You really need the stomach and amino acids to start to rebuild the proteins, to grow your hair back. All of those things are going to be really important. And then in line with the center of the nostril here, and directly under the iris of the eye, we have the spleen, which is the largest lymph node of your body. The lymph is really important for decreasing toxins, so cleaning your body from the inside out. So as your body is killing all these cancer cells, because you're doing all this great work with your diet and with facial reflexology, you want your body to be wiping all these things out of your body and wiping all the toxins out so that you can have a nice, clean body. Then we're going to work this whole top lip. If you are pregnant, you want to avoid working this top lip, and you're going to work a little extra up in here. But this is going to be, we're going to get 0.17 for the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands release cortisol, which is that stress hormone. We want to decrease those cortisol levels. And then our pancreas points are across here too. So the pancreas points are going to be right below the nostril and right beside it. So we're just going to work this whole upper lip. Nice and slow. Any area that you feel is particularly stuck or stagnant or feels zingy or feels painful or feels good to work it, work that a little bit more, because that's probably the zone for where your cancer is. And as you're doing that, you're bringing that healing oxygen, healing nutrients to the cancer. It's going to help it to literally, I just imagine me chipping away at it. Anytime I work with somebody who has cancer, you can feel the exact point on their face that is a representation of that in the nervous system. Take lots of time right here. This is the area that you can work many times a day. If you don't have time to do the whole routine, at least get into working this area 3 or 4 times a day. And then we're going to do the point right here in the center of the upper chin, and this is for the small intestine. The pancreas releases digestive juices into the small intestine, and so we want to work that area as well. And then we're going to finish up with working around the ear. So starting where the top of the ear meets the face, coming down the front side of the ear, going up that back of the ear, right where the ear attaches to the back of the head, and just doing some circles. This sets the formula into your body, helps it to last longer, as well as helps to regulate your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. So you don't have that sympathetic nervous system pumping out cortisol, and you're not too much in the parasympathetic state where you don't have any energy. So this is going to help to just regulate both of those nervous systems, both of those parts of the autonomic nervous system. It just feels really good. And then the other side. Let me know how this feels, and let me know what you notice after doing this for even several days or several weeks, and what you notice in your body. I think you're going to be shocked at all the positive benefits that you'll get from this very simple routine. All right, thank you for watching. Best of luck to you, and please, please, please go follow Dr. Thomas Seyfried and listen to some of his protocols on cancer. All right, see you in the next video.